In many ways, we are sort of a hidden activity on a huge scale that people don't recognize. The port is a major part of the economy, a major part of the community. Everyone in Canada actually comes into contact with something every day that's travelled through the Port of Vancouver, whether it's food that they eat, or whether it's clothing that they're wearing, or whether it's electronics. You can fit something like 1 million iPods into a container. So if anyone who's got an iPod in Canada, the chances are it came through the Port of Vancouver, Port Metro Vancouver, when it was imported. Or a cell phone, or a camera, or a television, or a fridge, or for that matter, anyone driving an Asian car anywhere in Canada. That car came in through the Fraser River part of Port Metro Vancouver.
Anything you can think of, everything you can think of, absolutely moves by ocean freight from one country to another. The goods involved are everything, literally everything, from human remains to gigantic oil well drilling rigs, small lots of electronics, full containers of lumber. We've had this going on for so long, it's become basically a fact of life that any store you walk into has goods manufactured in China or in India or in Europe. If you're going to come 14,000 kilometers from China into Canada, a ship really is the only option other than a plane. A plane would, I would venture to guess, be at least 10 times more expensive, and in most cases not even feasible for like large volume shipments. I mean, the plane is so much smaller than the capacity of a ship. So we'd basically, import would be over and export would be over if it wasn't for the ships on the sea.
Shipping carries more than 90% of everything that moves in the world today. It facilitates world trade. World trade is the lifeblood of economic growth in the world. And so without that, essentially world trade would come to a halt. That trade relationship is very, very fundamental. And we as the marine industry need to service that trade efficiently.
Port Metro Vancouver we really think of as a gateway through which Canada's trade with the world takes place. We're by far the largest port, as I say, in Canada, and by far the largest gateway in Canada. We trade $75 billion of goods every year with 160 economies around the world. It's a big economic generator for not just the region, but actually for the whole nation. When you add all of the activity together, the port contributes about $10 billion of GDP every year to the Canadian economy. We have 5 different sectors, major sectors of our trade through the port. That's automotive trade, which is imports from Asia. We have breakbulk trade, which is forest products, lumber, pulp, which is being exported to primarily Asia. We have bulk products like coal, grain, potash, sulfur, which are all being exported. We have containers, which is a major import and export trade. And then the 5th major sector is the cruise sector, where we have around 750,000 passengers a year embarking or disembarking from cruises to Alaska. There really has been, in the last few years, a development of a common strategic vision amongst the federal government, the provincial government, ourselves as Port Metro Vancouver, and all of the stakeholders who are involved in the gateway, about building capacity to support Canada, to support the economy, and also recognising our responsibilities to maintain our relationships with the community, to continue to maintain and improve the environment around us. And that's been a big and a very positive change.
Today, this facility is really showing the advantage that we have in our geographic position. We're 3 days sailing time closer to Asia than LA Long Beach. 3 days is a very big advantage when it comes to logistics chain management and to get those goods onto the store shelves or to get products into the manufacturing facilities for just-in-time inventory control. It's a huge advantage. In a community of 13,000, 14,000 people, you can be assured that at least somebody in every household has an employment connection to the port. And so we are very fortunate in having a situation where the general public, at least in this region, and I can say right across this trade corridor as far east as Prince George and even into Edmonton, has a really good appreciation of the importance of the Port of Prince Rupert.
We've recruited up to 350 people, and that's just a start. I can see from now on that if we keep going like we're going to be going through another recruitment drive. But all those people, they're into buying houses, they're into actually investing in Prince Rupert. It put a more positive spin on the attitudes of people in Prince Rupert.
This facility will transform northern British Columbia. Those communities have a link to the world where they can ship high-value goods to international markets around the world. And as a result, we are already seeing the growth of export traffic through this facility, and it's growing exponentially.